Welcome to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. These are casual chats with visiting artists. Creaky barn, bugs, and all. Enjoy.
Hello and welcome to Conversations from the Barn, a very, very special edition this time because not only are we at the end of the summer here, boo. It is our first time sitting down with a microphone with Em Haas, who has been our retreat administrator all summer, and we're very, very sad and a little angry that we're going to have a departure and that things are coming to a quiet close, but we also have so much to celebrate because it's been a really darn fun summer. And it's been a particularly fun summer for all of us, Em, because you have been here. We just wanted to check in and hear what it was like for you. When you read this job description and this crazy arts foundation out in the middle of nowhere, what was it that sparked you to respond to it?
Yeah, there were a lot of things, I think. I was introduced to this place by my professor at St. Olaf College, Juliet Patterson, who was not my advisor, but I would say my mentor in a lot of ways. She's also a creative nonfiction writer, and we are very similar in a lot of ways. And so she had retreated here several years ago, I think, and she sent me this job posting actually last year. But since I was a junior in college and had to be back on campus in September, things didn't work out. But then Bill so graciously emailed me again this year and said, "Hey, are you available for the summer?" And you sent me the job posting and kind of how things would look this year. And I said, yes, absolutely. I mean, I remembered you from our interview and conversation even last year. And I think I actually reached out in January, February of this year. And I think there had been someone who had been already arranged, but then things just kind of worked out as they were supposed to.
You were the one that was supposed to be here.
I like to think so.
Clearly you made an impression last year too. I can affirm this.
What in general about the role though really spoke to you when it was forwarded to you? Like what intrigued you about it?
I think a lot of different aspects. Graduating from college, I think, and again, St. Olaf is just such a community-based place. It's 3,000 to 4,000 people. I was with the same handful of friends all 4 years. And I think something that I've heard as I had gotten closer to graduation, and am now kind of set free of school, was that it's a lot harder to make friends outside of, and to find a community outside of school than it is to. So I think this place speaks so heavily to community and to fostering engagement and uplifting voices. And so I think that was one of the things that resonated with me the most. But then there was also the opportunity to, again, in the spirit of being let loose, of living alone, which is very different from what I had all 4 years. Again, it was you lived on campus all 4 years, 95% of students do, and I am not a statistics person. I just worked in admissions for 3 years, and so I knew some numbers. And so to go from that to go from the school setting that was so, people were just essentially given to you have to kind of figure things out on your own, was a challenge that I thought would be really important.
So this was the first time you'd ever lived alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we ever talked about that or thought about that.
Yep.
Was that hard in the beginning, those first few?
I would say it's been hard the entire summer.
Yeah.
It's a solitary experience.
Yes, which, can be really beautiful in a lot of ways. But I think one of the things that I've learned this summer is that I'm a more people person than I thought I was. I took a couple of days away from Everwood to go visit family, to visit friends. I brought a friend here, and those even brief moments were really rejuvenating to, still kind of find those deeper connections among those week-long ones that I was so graciously able to participate in here.
So even though you had artists next door, it really, like having someone within your own domicile, you missed that aspect of it greatly.
Yeah, and it's one thing to have two artists come for the week and to have them available, but also like one of the things that I kind of faced over the summer was learning what people wanted from me. Different artists wanted different things from me every time. There were some artists who, I think of the first week here, I played like 4 or 5 games of cribbage with the artists who were here that week. But then there was, another week where the two people who were here, I saw them once.
Yeah.
And so, going from that and then thinking back to college where I just had people who were close to me all the time, who I was in class with at least once a day, it was a very different sort of connection with people.
This might be an esoteric question, but I'm curious what you have learned about community. Creating healthy community, what community feels like.
Power of community.
Yeah. I keep talking about college, and I probably sound a little insufferable. But I think one of the things that college granted me was, again, like that closeness all the time, which always felt then like I was doing something right. And, community is not a quantifiable thing. But early on, into this position, I went to both of you and I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this right or if I'm fulfilling expectations, because again, the experience of community in a small liberal arts college versus here where it's, I think, 5 of us on the property pretty consistently is very different. And there were some weeks where I didn't feel like I had nailed the idea of community, because I think some people come here with the idea of like, I need to work and I need to put my head down and I need to get this thing done, which is totally understandable. But then there were some weeks where, people invited me back into the retreat house, served me dinner, offered to stay in touch, and said, please come visit me in the Twin Cities whenever you make it back home. And again, community isn't something that like has you did like so well in this, but there are feelings of rightness that come in finding people, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's hard to describe.
I feel like you supported community in all of those instances, in that I think of it as sort of the platinum rule: you did unto others as they would have you do unto them. And I think that's what you did so well this summer, is you extended an invitation of openness, of connection, of bonding, and you embraced it when it was accepted, and you acknowledged it and respected it when it might not have been wholeheartedly accepted.
Yeah. And I think, those quiet weeks were sometimes the hardest. Even, now that things are kind of wrapping up, even still now those quiet weeks leave me with a lot of unsurety of
Are you doing your job well?
correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's fair. What did you, so during those quieter weeks, read, write?
Mostly read, kept
Yeah.
to myself, cleaned a lot because I was, it's hard to live in a space that is not yours and to worry about all the time, like, am I keeping the, like, is this what's supposed to be happening? But yeah, this was not as productive of a writing summer as I would have thought it to be. I really wanted to go into this and I was like, I am going to like enter the retreat mindset some weeks. So I'm going to write so much. I'm going to be like Suzanne, who was just here, and write 15,000 words in a week. No, that is not true. I've kind of described this a couple of times over the course of the past couple of weeks, but I've found that my writing process thus far has really just been absorbing and taking things in and experiencing so that I can revisit them later and write about them more articulately and with direction than I think I otherwise would have, you know, had I done things consistently. I'm also not a journaler. So I did not keep a journal at all my entire time here. Really, all I did was I wrote things down from books that I liked for future writing things, and I took notes at our meetings. But I never once took down, here's what I did today and here's how I'm feeling about it. I find that a feeling has been sustained the entire summer, and I think it has been a very positive one. I don't know if I have a name for it, but something very lovely has carried me this season.
What have been some favorite moments?
I already mentioned cribbage. So not to be, at the risk of being redundant, cribbage. Sarah, who was one of our first residents, who was our first resident, but was here with Tiffany?
Amanda.
Amanda, excuse me. Sorry, Amanda, if you're listening.
Well, you're just mad at her because she beat you.
Yeah, she did. She won like 3 times, but I hold no grudges.
No, rude.
I know.
Just forgot her name.
I did. I know, and that wasn't intentional. But yes, sitting down, learning cribbage at the retreat table, very special. Writing with another creative nonfiction writer who was here, I want to say in July, early September. She invited me over into the retreat and said, let's just get some writing done. And that was much appreciated, though I still didn't write any creative nonfiction. I was translating at the time. Because I feel like that has a better goal than just whatever I want to say eventually does. Other moments, I mean, just some of the ridiculous animal things that happened. The goats escaping their fencing, and when both of you were both gone, that was, and I think that was
the only time it happened.
the only time it happened, and I think it was less than a month into my being here.
Oh, it was like 2 weeks in.
Yeah,
Barely.
and so that was overwhelming at the time. I was like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
But it's something that I very much like to revisit.
We may have to go back to that text message and maybe put that in the book as a for history's sake.
I could also, I think the pigs were another one. Heidi and Wade, the neighbors right across the street, said a couple months in, hey, we're going out of town. We're going to Door County for the weekend. Could you please come over and take care of the pigs? Again, animal husbandry was nowhere on the job application. And so for future reference, please put that down. Unexpected and spontaneous animal husbandry may be necessary. Sunday brunches were always lovely, always.
Performances, workshops.
Yes.
When there were people here.
Yeah, connecting with the people who visited. You know, being able to be with Katie. Katie was also, even though she wasn't here on the farm very frequently, her presence was always very much felt and is still. You know, the moments in which I felt like I was doing the job right were also really important. Connecting with the artists every time.
Sunday night happy hours with spirit animal cards are
Yes.
pretty fun.
Being told I have an amazing memory when I really do not.
You really do.
It is touch and go with
What is
some
the
things.
best animal you think you picked
I don't
this
remember mine. Suzanne and Julie were asking about those cards, and they were like, "Does it ever like feel like you get the right one?" And I'm like, they always said like that I would get a burst of creativity that week, and that never happened. But I don't remember mine as well as I remember others.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Because they were like, "Do you remember any of yours?" And I was like, "No, no, I don't. I would remember it if I saw them, but I don't remember them off the top of my head."
I have to say, I have learned so much about the creative process from being around artists and the common pain that everybody has and the struggle and the doubt and on times and off times and all those kinds of things, the way that we wrestle with our inner creative to say, are you going to show up seriously? What have you learned about being an artist from being around artists?
I think a lot of the things that I've learned about being an artist have also come with lessons about just being a person. Every single artist who I've talked to and who I've told that I'm 22 has been like, oh, and just like, oh, like if you need anything, like I'm so here for you. Here are some of the things that I learned when I was 22, and like please remember these things now that you are 22. And I think a lot of those things also resonate with the creative process. Several people have been like, this is a very liminal time of life and take it as it is, like exist in the transition, which is also something that you've been saying a lot this summer, Chris. And I think that has been very true for the writing process. I don't think I've said what I do. I'm a writer. I write fiction and creative nonfiction. I'm a musician. I sing primarily. And those are, I think, my two primary forms of art. I think grappling with the fact that this is a transitional time and that, again, a lot of my creative process has just been about experiencing and not disqualifying that as part of the process has been really important. Because I think, especially for creative nonfiction, it takes experiencing things to write about them and reflection to be able to articulate them. A lot of the things that I wrote about in my classes took place a year or more after my time of writing them. And so I think, again, even though I was frustrated with myself in the first couple of weeks of like, why am I not able to put anything down? Why am I not typing like literally anything while the internet is still up, which I took for granted.
For the record, we're having a brief internet outage here at Everwood.
Yes.
It will come back, artist, I promise.
I think learning that just being able to soak things in while I have them is also important.
You are in this liminal space.
Yes.
You are thinking about next. You're planting a lot of seeds for next.
Yes.
I just would love to hear from you in case there's somebody listening to this that is like, ooh, I'd love to make a connection. Not what do you hope your career is, what your ultimate goal is, but if you were to wave your magic wand and it would be like, this would be such an awesome next that fits your skills, but would really get you excited to go do your thing every day. Could you name some things?
Or places?
Places, maybe not.
Or entities?
Entities. I don't know. I'm thinking more of experiences that come with positions. Like I've mentioned before, I worked in admissions at St. Olaf for 3 years, and I learned through that, and again through everything over the past couple of months, that I'm a more people person than I think I am. I think anything that involves connective people work is incredibly valued to me, something that, you know, not to be greedy, but that comes away with a tangible result.
Yeah.
Is also important. It's, you know, again, like thinking about the summer, it's always beautiful when I can leave feeling like I've really connected with an artist and feeling like, you know, oh, they want to stay in touch past this, even though they know that my time here is temporary and that, you know, everything is. In terms of other things, would always love to use writing in my work, of course, would love to, you know, just, I don't know, those are really just the two things that I think of. Just working with people and being able to write my way through it. Maybe not in a super high intensive workplace. I don't know if I would ever consider animal husbandry as my primary career, but wow, have I gotten experience with it this summer.
Right. Yeah. You found your animal whisperer.
I guess. But yeah, I wish I had more to say on those two things, but if it helps anyone, I've been looking into copywriting and copy editing and working in higher education, continuing to go on in admissions, other assistant positions as needed. I don't know, sometimes it helps to have a quantifiable thing.
Yeah.
I'm using the word quantifiable so much, so apologies, but
We'll hashtag it with quantifiable.
thank you.
So I'm thinking, Bill Underwood, about the big final question.
Yeah.
I have a couple of avenues. I don't know if you have any builds.
Okay.
And maybe Em can make a choice about where they want to land.
So you know my position has gotten serious. You're giving me choice among the final questions.
I know, it's true. I'm giving you full agency.
Favorite goat?
That's it? That's the big final question?
I mean, no. I've got more.
Maybe we're building.
Yeah.
Favorite
We're
goat.
building.
Christopher told me to build. Favorite goat? And why?
I fear it's between the popular favorites. I do really like Sonia and Hattie. Hattie always gets brownie points for being small, and I think she does win that part of it for me. She's small, she's very cute. She's gotten less affectionate with me as the summer has gone on, but that's okay. I love her still.
She's very soft.
She's so soft. And Sonia, I mean, anyone who has met Sonia can attest to the fact that she does quite enjoy being scratched. I enjoy that I can come up right beside her and just kind of like pat her neck. It's very cute.
Final answer?
2. Am I allowed to have 2?
Pick one.
Bill Underwood.
It's my
This
podcast.
is cruel. I will say Sonia.
Interesting. I knew it.
I also enjoy hearing her scream.
Oh, who doesn't?
It's amusing.
Who doesn't?
Very dramatic. That
It's like
one.
always her too. No one else shouts quite as loudly as she does.
Nobody else can.
The drama
It's true.
of a hard life.
She would be a real housewife if she could.
Yes.
This is true.
If
She
she were a
screams and then
living
you go
human being.
back there and she's just lying in the leaves. It's like, okay, what was that all about?
Favorite artist interaction moment?
That's hard.
Or just a favorite?
I will say a favorite. I'm giving a lot of Julie and Suzanne answers just because they were just here yesterday. Suzanne, the night on Friday night, she was sharing pieces of her writing that she had done. And as she was reading it out loud, I found myself admiring the clarity of her voice. Anyone who has met Suzanne knows that she has a personality, and it's a big one, and it's beautiful. And I am so endlessly grateful to have met her. And I am even more grateful to have found someone with such honesty in their writing voice. when Julie and I were listening, we both commented on the fact that she was able to encapsulate both the past feelings of her anger and her present consciousness of how ridiculous that anger was in terms of its size, and comparing it to the relationship that she has with that part of her life now. And I don't even remember what phrase she had been reading, but I just started bawling. I got really emotional really fast, and I had to tell her, I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm not crying for bad reasons. I just am it just is happening. She's like, oh. Anyway, and we were on that little window couch area, and it was 9 at night, and so all of it just felt, sitting with the two of them, listening to writing out loud when she had talked early on about wanting to speak her writing more, just felt really special in a lot of ways.
Feels like kind of a collegiate moment.
Yes. I will confess yes and admit yes.
Knowing her, I hope she's not listening to this while driving, because she seems to be one who has to dance.
Correct.
When they hear
this is
beautiful
true.
things, and so she would have to dance while driving.
This is true, and I
pull
would
over,
fear
Suzanne.
for her.
Please pull over.
Please pull over. We should have. Can you edit that sooner before I started monologuing? But yeah, and then we found out we shared a birthday, and we'd been sitting at the happy hour spot right in front of the barn, and she literally got up and she did a lap, right over on the front of the barn. She was like, "Oh my God, are you serious?" And so I did my own mini lap by the doors, but she was all the way over here. So she was very excited.
The freeways are very wide in Texas, so
Yes.
she very well may be able to dance and drive at the same time.
I hope so.
What have you learned about yourself this summer that you didn't know heading in?
Now it's getting real.
It is getting real. I don't know. I think that there were a lot of things that I knew about myself, but that just came into sharper awareness as the summer went on. So I've been talking a lot about my desire and apparent necessity to be around people. And I've talked about the writing process too. But I think I just started realizing, again, with more clarity, what is important for me to have in my immediate vicinity. I think having avenues of writing and of the creative process, books and my notebooks and my Greek books and, all of those things were important because they gave me direction and option with which to navigate creativity. Having people nearby and having, phone calls was important, as I realized again how important it was for me to keep connections and to maintain them and to, even begin them when the artists were here at the beginning of the week. Yeah, those are the big things, I think. I learned how much I hate washing dishes. There's no dishwasher in the cottage, which is fine, but wow, I can leave a set of dry dishes sitting out for a long time. So, yeah. I don't know, and I learned...
Did you learn that you always wanted an older brother 30 years your senior?
I mean, yeah, I did. Nissa, very early on, one of the artists who was here, well, not very early on, she's probably about a month in with Vinita, brought her tarot cards with her. That was important to her, but I asked very selfishly if she would do a reading for me, and she said yes. And I think I've told both of you this, but you guys both appeared in the cards as supporters in both emotional and professional ways, and I think that has only become more true as things have gone on in multiple
I don't
ways.
remember hearing that. Did you know that?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought I told both of you. But yeah.
I showed up in a tarot card?
Yes, you did. Both of you did.
Wow.
Nissa has this very lovely unicorn tarot deck. And so I have the cards somewhere. hold on. I'm pretty sure what she drew was the Nine of Pentacles. And so I'm not a professional tarot person in any way, shape, or form. I know very little, but pentacles are like the coins. So there's that financial security. And then there are two creatures on the card. So two of you.
Like a unicorn and a parrot, maybe?
And a bird.
There's
So
a snail there too. Am I the snail?
You could be, maybe.
Oy.
Would you like to be the snail?
No.
Oh. Well.
But
Anyway.
at least I appeared.
Yes, no, you definitely did appear, and Nissa was
amazing.
very quick to point that out, and I think one of the things too that has been so lovely to hear from everyone. Everyone has told me Chris and Bill love you, which has been really special to hear.
Wow.
I think that's another part of, this position that has been the most lovely. It's very rare to experience anything like this in any sort of professional setting. And even though sometimes this crosses the line of professional, with the looks that I get thrown over happy hour, and the fact that I'm invited
The brotherly
over,
looks.
it's true, and the fact that I'm invited over for family brunch, but I'm grateful all the time.
Those were our final questions.
They were.
I can say more if that was not enough.
I think that was. You did a great job. That
Thank
was
you.
terrific.
Thank you.
I would love to start our close, Em, with profound gratitude. If we were not explicit, because I know that it really mattered to you, you did such an incredibly great job this summer. End to end, you knocked us out.
Thank you.
You knocked us out.
Bill isn't nodding. That means he disapproves.
No, this is Chris Everett's department.
You're in full support.
I'm in full support.
Yes.
Yes,
This is
I
where
know
take
this
the
to be
back
true.
seat and I let.
I wouldn't say it if we weren't.
Yes.
Didn't
I was
know
just
we were
teasing.
fully aligned.
You're like a big sister right now. You're totally big.
Classic. I mean, of course.
It's so true. We have been endlessly impressed by not only your deep care in getting it right, that it really mattered to you, and that energy, it is no small thing. And you embodied the Everwood ethos and hospitality and way just right from the beginning, and it was very easy for us to trust you and just let it go and let you do your thing. And that is no small thing for us, because you know how much this means to us and how tight we've been gripping the whole thing. And we just from the beginning knew Em is absolutely equipped to make this your own, and you did.
And every artist here this summer would.
That's the ultimate evidence.
It is.
When we're reading the book and having happy hour and talking with the artists and having the podcast, we heard from everyone this summer such gratitude for your hospitality. We were at the beginning of this conversation, you were talking about just the listening really hard for what each person needed, kind of the energy of that week, and that there were some weeks it was actually hard because they just wanted to fall down their artist hole and be quiet. And that is an extremely high level of maturity, that when you're building community, that it is not an energy of pushing something with agenda, but really listening deeply and responding for what is needed. What is needed for me right now? What is the most loving thing that I could do for their experience? Huge, 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 huge. You have left a massive imprint on the artists. You've left a massive imprint on this entire community, everyone who was in this barn. You have left Everwood better than you found it, and you have left a massive imprint on Bill and I. Now and forever, You are part of this community. You're a part of our family. This creepy brotherhood, older brother looking out for you. I'm not sure what role I'm playing, but it is one of a big hug and love and support and deep admiration for who you are. Let us know what you need. We're for you. This is always a place for you to come back.
Thank you.
You're always welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for this summer.
Thank you
Bravo,
for
Chris
everything.
Everett.
Anything you would like to add?
I can't. Why would I ever try to follow that? I've said that from the stage 100 times. Why would I ever follow that? Ridiculous.
Thank you.
Thank you, Em.
Thanks for listening to Conversations from the Barn at Everwood Farmstead. Our theme music is provided by John Mark Nelson. Wishing you all good health.